This Made Media Magazine. This video right here is about New York rapper, former member of the Outlaws Tupac group, Young Noble. But first, I need everybody to hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. This is breaking news right here. Hit that like, hit that share, and subscribe. This Made Media Magazine. Now, breaking news coming in. Shout out to allhiphop.com. Make sure you check their website out. But we got some sad news for all you Outlaws fans out there, man. Outlaws member Young Noble, he dead by suicide at age 47, man. Idi Amin broke the news via Instagram on Friday, July 4th, saying he was at loss for words. Idi Amin won't be celebrating 4th of July following the tragic news that his Outlaws brother, Young Noble, has committed suicide. Man, that's crazy. The veteran rapper, who rose to notoriety as part of Tupac Shakur's group, broke the news via Instagram on Friday, July 4th, saying he was at loss of words. Today, I got some of the worst and unexpected news imaginable, he wrote. My brother and partner for over 30 years took his life this morning. Rest in power, Rufus Young Noble Cooper. I obviously am in no shape to talk about this right now, so please give his family and I some time to process this. Mental illness is a real battle being fought by so many. Check on your folks. Many in hip-hop community expressed their shock processing this as well. I wish him peace and comfort. Condolences to you and all of your family involved. All Crazy Bone, Lazy Bone, E40, Suge Knight Jr., and King Cricket also offered condolences. So yeah, man, the Outlaws were founded by Tupac Shakur and Yaki Gaddafi in '95, initially emerging from Shakur's earlier collaborations with groups like Dramacidal and Thug Life. The group, whose name stands for operating under Thug's Law as Warriors, first gained widespread recognition through their appearance on Shakur's track When We Ride from his multi-platinum album All Eyes on Me, and became especially notable for their role in the infamous diss track Hit 'Em Up. Members adopted aliases inspired by controversial world leaders, with Shakur himself taking the name Machiavelli. The original lineup included Castro, Idi Amin, Hussein Fatal, Napoleon, Yaki Gaddafi, Young Noble, and the sole female member, Storm. After Shakur murder in '96, the group faced significant turmoil, including the death of Gaddafi and Hussein Fatal, but continued to release music, including the platinum-certified album Still I Rise in collaboration with Shakur. Young Noble, who joined the group in '96 as the last member, survived a serious heart attack in 2021. He wrote at the time, "Thank you to all my loved ones who've been praying for me. I had one of the worst days of my life yesterday. I had a serious heart attack, but God is too good, and amazing doctors brought me back, and they getting me right. I plan to put everything in my life on hold while I recover and get my health all the way right. This will only make me stronger. I'm grateful for the second chance, and I beg y'all, please take your health serious, and all unhealthy living and the stress catches up to you sooner or later."
You was right there when Pac and Nas had that run in at Bryant Park, right?
Yep, I was right there front and center.
From your point of view, can you give me the backstory?
My point of view. So the first thing that happened was at the awards, me, Gaddafi, Fatal, Napoleon, and who else was with us? Our homie from Declare Bang was with us. We inside, right? It's probably about 30 of the homies outside. We inside the awards. We walking in the back. You know, it's the stage, then it's all the seats, and then it's like a little area where everybody walk back. So we walking in the back, and Gaddafi walking in front of me, and I see him. He looking, and he stopped and kind of like turned and looked right there. And there's some guys they like right there, and it's Nas's boys, and they kind of like grilling us and shit. So we like looking like, you know, like we grilling them back, you know. So it was almost like a little exchange, like you know what it is. Like, come on, man, let's, you know. So that was the first thing that happened. So we go to our seats and shit. And Pop, he presented his award. Once he presented his award, we knew he was gonna be walking out soon. So we got up out our seats, we hanging over on the side waiting for him to come out. So we come out, we see him, and you know, one of the homies probably told him, like, you know, we just seen Nas boys and shit. You know, we recognize him from the videos. We always huge Nas fans and shit. Like, we all love Nas. So we recognized the niggas we saw, they was his boys. About 5 of them and shit, you know what I mean? And somebody told Tupac, like, yeah, we just seen Nas people and shit. They're trying to grill us or whatever, you know what I mean? So we start walking back out, and we see 2 or 3 of them again. And one of them niggas, I don't know, he said something. Pac kind of like they were standing by the exit way to go out the thing. And Pac kind of started barking on it. And I just remember security like, this ain't, you know what I mean? So we all go out. So we just know, like, niggas see us. And, you know, they from Queens. I'm sure they was feeling the way about Pac coming at Mobb Deep, you know, as they should. They, you know, that was their brothers, you know what I'm saying? So we leave out. We go to the park, the after party, right? It's like probably a 10-minute walk. You know, you had about 30 Jersey guys outside. And we go outside, and you know, Pac like, yo, we're gonna go to the after party, right down the street. So, you know, everybody couldn't fit no van, so we all walked to the park. Pac giving out $100 bills the whole way. Might have gave out about $5,000 or whatever it was. I just know he kept saying, yo, give me some more money. And, you know, the streets was like, they was happy to see him. He was out there showing love, you know, just on our walk, you know. So we walk into this park. It's about 30 of us, and you know what I mean? And we get there, and we there for a hot second, maybe like 10, 15 minutes, and drinking, just happy to be, happy to be in this atmosphere. And the Jersey homies is there. We introducing him to everybody, and Pac was feeling real good to be back home. You know what I mean? So I remember he did an interview, and he was like, you probably see it on YouTube. You see all the niggas behind him holding up Death Row East signs and all that. Yeah, he's like, I bring Pac was crazy. I bring a new government back. All these suckers, Nas, everybody, he's naming everybody in the About after he did that interview, about 5 minutes later, we see Nas come around the corner. You know what I mean? Everybody look. It's about him and maybe about the same guys we got into it with it, and in the. So they walk up, the whole clan surround him. Mind you, I'm right there in the middle. I'm shoulder to shoulder with Pac right here. Pac standing right here. Nas standing right here. Nas walked around the corner. He wanted to see Pac. He wanted to talk to him. His body language was like, me and Pac need to chop it up. They met each other before. They had mutual respect for each other. So I know when Nas seen his boys at the awards, they probably told him what happened. We seen Pac, whatever. So he probably feel like, I need to see Tupac. He pull up. They start talking. You know what I mean? Mind you, they totally surrounded at this point. They was outnumbered. Nothing tough about that. It was just Pac first time back in New York. We was deep. And that's just what it was. Now this is a corporate event. A lot of rich white people and actors, and it was no reason for Nas to be there deep at all. So he had his couple of guys, and as he should. Yeah, it's cool squad and so they chopping it up. I'm right there. Mind you, Nas was one of my favorites. This was like a movie to me. I see he right in front of me. I knew Illmatic. I knew the words to a fucking song. You know what I mean? The nigga had on a red leather outfit. He had on some glasses with some red lenses. He's right here in front of me. Me and Pac shoulder to shoulder. Nas right here in my face. My first time, in this environment. I wanted to tell a nigga how much, we all love him. But, this is wartime. Pac chopping it up with him. So, it was a little pushing going on. His boys, Pac, tell your boys to back up. Niggas ain't backing up nothing. Like this, it was a little tense exchange. But them niggas handle it like men, and they talk. And Pac told him what the fuck was going on. He told him he had him on. He dissed him on Against All Odds. He told him he was gonna take it off. He's like, yo, nigga, we gotta work. Niggas should never be going at each other like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was a simple exchange, and Nas walked away. Right? It was a little hectic, for a minute, a little push and Suge right there. Snoop was way over there on the other side of the field. I saw him specifically. He was way over there. You know what I mean? I was right there, shoulder to shoulder with Pac, with one of my favorite rappers, Nas, right in front of my face, right? Then they left, right? We was all happy that this happened. You know what I mean? Pac loved Nas. I know they had nothing but respect for each other. I know all our Jersey niggas loved that nigga. How do I know? Because that's all we played when that nigga came out from, his first verse you ever heard. You know what I mean? Live at the barbecue, we was all rocking with the nigga. What I don't like is over the years, man, how that exchange, all these different stories. The truth is, Nas walked up. It was about 7 of them. It was about 30, 40 of us. He didn't skip a beat, man. He didn't get, he didn't tuck his head. He walked up. He wanted to talk to Pac. The truth was as gangster as it get. He walked up and they had a conversation. Pac all sweating, telling the nigga, yo, Nas was cool, like, yeah, And, the corny shit, though, is like afterwards, all the amazing wild stories.
Right.
20 fucking years later, everybody got a wild story what happened that night. His brother Jungle, I'm about to shoot Tupac. He wouldn't have made it out the fucking park. Our niggas had heat. It was surrounded. There was nothing they could do. Anybody could be outnumbered. It's nothing special about that. A couple of niggas, could go against a bunch of niggas for sure, right? But it was no win in this situation. It wasn't no, sort of amazing wild stories that I done heard over these years. I'm gonna start with Snoop Dogg. Nothing but love for Snoop Dogg. He told a wild version. I think like with Snoop, like when I Snoop Kendrick, the joint he just dropped, he was saying to Snoop, I hope it was the edibles. I hope it was the edibles when he said this one, because he had a wild version of the story. Like Nas had Pac surrounded and all that. But I'm to Snoop defense, right? Snoop didn't come with Pac to this park. Snoop got there in his vehicle, his security, however he did. So I think all the niggas that we had with us, they was outside the venue, all our Jersey niggas. They didn't come inside the motherfucking awards. They was outside waiting for us to come out. So in my mind, I'm thinking maybe Snoop, he don't realize all these niggas is actually with Tupac. They're not with Nas. So to his defense, I'm gonna say that, you know what I mean? But